Welcome, Thunderbird Nation, to a special edition. We've got the spring ball wrap-up. Football has come and gone here on the campus of Southern Utah. We've got a beautiful day outside. It's the end of the semester. Lots of buzz going on, Coach. And we had a great spring season. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about first going into spring. It's always important. We'll talk about it time and time again. Let's talk about the weight room, its importance in football in general, and how you thought you guys did this year.
You said football has come and gone. Just spring ball's come and gone.
No, in the spring.
Yeah, football's never come and gone.
It's always here, baby.
But with that day, football's always here. It is always in my mind. What that means is it's time for a little more golf. Time for a lot more golf.
If we can get this weather to cooperate, we can talk football on the golf course, which is pretty much my favorite things to do.
Well, I am predicting in your future you're going to be buying Powerades at the turn and delaying a pack of nabs because you've lost a wager.
Oh, well, that's to be determined, sir.
There's the prediction going forward. You asked me about the weight room.
Yeah. Let's talk about the weight room because it's a pivotal part of the sport you play. And I think we've got some things to talk about. Coach Bates and Zach Strand and how it's all going in there.
Yeah, and Andrew Bates and Zach Strand, best two strength conditioning coaches in the country.
Awesome.
Have done a great job working with the administration to add a third strength conditioning coach in there with those guys because you need it in college football to be successful. Body composition, strength, speed, power, body composition is just so important in all of college athletics right now, but especially football. Our weight room this semester couldn't be prouder. There's some guys that have went in. There's guys that went in there and improved all of their maxes by 15 pounds. There's guys 35 pounds. There's guys in there 50 pounds.
Wow.
Now some of them are different. You'll find a guy that improved his front squat 15 pounds, but his back squat's 25 pounds, and then his power clean improved by 35 pounds. We don't just test those things. We test a lot of different things, but it's front squat, back squat, bench, pull-ups, power clean, Nordic hamstring curl. We do verticals, we do broad jump, but do a lot of testing in there. That way we know how much we're increasing the player on our team's explosion, and more importantly than explosion, improving their hip explosion.
I noticed I came into the weight room a few times, and I noticed they're hanging from the bars. Right. So talk to me about why you would have is that like a stretching exercise? Is it a grip strength thing? You even had a competition of who could hang out there the longest. Talk to us about that because that's something I haven't normally seen.
Yeah, working hand strength, grip strength.
Hand and grip strength.
Yeah,
okay.
You got to be strong. Got to be heavy-handed. You have to be heavy-handed to be successful in football. Okay. But increasing grip strength, hand strength, also working forearm strength. Awesome. And just you got to work all the muscles. You got to work everything from the end of your fingertips all the way down to the end of your toes.
Does grip strength and that forearm strength, does that help in tackling, like actually being able to hold on to a runner or if you're an O-line, once you get locked in? I noticed this is not to be not to point out some things that needed addressed in the offseason, but some messy tackling sometimes last year where we had a guy, we had hands on him and didn't bring him down.
John, don't be passive aggressive. If you just say we didn't tackle very well.
We didn't tackle very well last year, Coach.
Yeah, don't go around the mountain to get to your point now. Just spit it out.
Oh no, yeah. Well, I'm just wondering if that was something that you guys did specifically to help that.
Yeah, we're working to improve all of our deficiencies, and becoming better tacklers is one of them.
Yeah,
and better tackling, having hand violence and being heavy-handed, and better tackling and better blocking and better block destruction. All of that starts in the weight room and then goes out into what we're doing on the field.
Awesome. I like block destruction. I've never heard it put that way.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, destroy the block.
Yeah, when the offensive blocker comes to me, you're supposed to destroy the block.
Love it. Let's give a rundown of our position groups. Let's start on the offensive side of the ball, and then we'll just work our way through. And let's go ahead and give the big boys on the O-line first dibs here. So let's talk about the O-line, both how they've played, new faces maybe. I know we got Lyle Santos back. That's incredible. It's great to see him stay here and really kind of become a leader on the team and a captain. Let's talk about the O-line.
Yeah, and while we're going through these position groups, if I forget somebody, forgive me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I from time to time forget good players. But on our offensive line, Los Santos has a good spring for us and is one of our team leaders. Kyle Safarchuk was better this spring than he's ever been. Colin Gardner is a good football player and has 3 years to play, has an opportunity to be a great college football player. Loy Matamonga started for us at left guard last year. He's still back, still playing. So those 4 guys all started for us last year. They're all back. People tend to imply that we're young on the offensive line, and yes, we don't have a senior. We don't have a senior, but they have a ton of games played, plays played, games started.
Practical experience.
Yeah, a lot of it for those 4 guys in particular. Connor Hickson had a good spring, not a great spring. Expecting some improvement from him over the summer, and he'll be a player going forward. Jeremy Perkins got banged up early on, and it hurt his spring, but Jeremy Perkins got a chance to be a good football player at this level. Eddie Huerta, and I make no secrets, he's one of my favorite kids. Works hard, tough as nails, finishes things he starts, comes from good people, comes from a good family. But Eddie's got a chance to be he got 3 to play and got a chance to be really good going forward.
Did he flip from the D-line over to the O-line?
He did. He was a D tackle last fall. We
Okay.
moved him to center, and he's probably going to play a little more guard coming up in the fall than he did this spring. We get him at that guard position. He can put his hand in the dirt, and he doesn't have to think about snapping the football.
Just go smack.
Yeah, he can just be himself.
Yeah.
He can just go be a blue-collar, tough kid. Dakota Dixon, right off his mission, joined us in January and had a good spring, going to be a good player. Steve Akins, we brought in from college at the Canyons in December, and Steve's going to be as good as Steve wants to be. If he wants to work hard and improve himself, he's got a chance to be a good player.
I hope he wants to be great, because I don't know. I have a soft spot for Steve Eakins just from our show that we did at the end of the fall in the winter time when we were doing our signees. Mm-hmm. His tape was the O-line tape to me that popped, and so I'm following you, Steve. So be a great player. We need you. Anyway, so yeah. I just want to shout out Steve.
Motivation and focus and foot speed.
Yeah.
The ability to finish. And I'm not just talking to Steve. They're talking to all of them.
Everybody. Of course. Yeah. Anybody else on the O-line, Coach, that you wanted to spotlight? Let's move quickly to running backs. Running backs is obviously an important position. We got to be able to run the ball in order to control clock. And obviously, the ground and pound is an important part of football. Let's talk running backs.
Yeah, really just for the most part this spring, 4 guys there, but Braden Whistler shows up every day and gives everything he has.
Whist mode.
Blue collar and does everything he's asked to do and does it as a high level, but we're expecting big things out of him. Jaden Perkins flashed a couple times this spring, and we're hopeful that Jaden can continue to improve. Kieran Fry shows up every day and gives it everything he's got, and we're happy to have Kieran on the team. Cade Bowring joined us off of his mission at Christmas, and Cade flashes. He flashes, has big plays from time to time, and we're excited about that.
I noticed him getting called a little bit in that spring game that we just had, and popped off a couple really good runs. So
sure did.
Straight off a mission. That's pretty impressive.
He's son of a high school football coach, understands football and understands how to do it at a high level.
You like to coach his kids.
I love coaches' kids. You know exactly what you're going to get out of a coach's kid.
Yeah.
And if they ever do screw up, you only have to make one phone call home. Call home one time, and all of a sudden a young man becomes a model citizen.
That's awesome.
Yeah, funny how that works.
So we got Perkins, Whistler, Bowring,
and Kieran Fry.
Mm-hmm.
Then when they weren't injured, this was Tosh Wright and Jordan Jefferson's best semesters.
Yeah.
Now there's some mental toughness and work ethic that they've still got, mental and physical toughness and work ethic stuff that they've still got to improve on. But they showed that they were capable of the improvement this semester. But
Excellent.
Yeah, happy to have those two.
They got better. That's good to hear. Let's move to wide receivers, Coach.
Yeah, wide receiver, and Isaiah Wooden made some improvements this semester. Ethan Bolingbrook is Mr. Steady Eddie at that position. You know what you're getting from him every day. Tim Patrick came on the last 2 or 3 weeks of spring and really did some things for us, and we're excited about him. And he's doing some things running and jumping that are showing us he can be a difference maker. The young bucks at that wide receiver position that are going to be special going forward. Jack Fairchild's got 4 to play and has a chance to be different.
Yeah.
Zach Mitchell has 4 to play and has a chance to be different. Gabe Nunez has 4 to play and has a chance to be different. Those we're really, really excited about.
Awesome.
Those 3 freshmen and going to be young and inexperienced, but extremely capable. Austin Bascom, if he'll keep coming, is going to help us some. Anston Kraut, if he'll keep working, going to help us some. And then Jaden Ashby joined us at Christmas, and Jaden had a really good spring. He is a specimen in the weight room. We've got to get it transferred over to the field.
Sure.
But Jaden continues to improve. Jaden's going to be a difference maker in our football program.
That's awesome. Excuse me. Next position group coach is the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I think we both feel strongly about Justin. He's a great player. Love the kid. Love his family. Another son of a coach.
He's a coach's kid.
He's a coach's kid. Yeah, thanks for helping me spit that out. Let's talk about Justin Miller and then the quarterback room.
Yeah, Justin has solidified himself as a starter. Justin is 3rd or 4th in every single quarterback category in SUU football history. So he's got a chance to break some records this year. And he's a poor man. He's a broke man's Tom Brady. That's who he is. That's who. And he knows. Hey, dresses like it, looks like it. Yeah, but hey. Justin walks in the football stadium. He's the smartest guy in the stadium now. He's the most knowledgeable football player in the stadium, including me, including our coaching staff. He's really, really bright. Does things most of the time, does really, really smart things on the football field, doesn't hurt us, doesn't turn the football over, makes good decisions, completes 65% of his passes. Just excited. Hey, excited to have him back for his 5th year and glad to be his football coach. He's being backed up by Grady Robinson and Grady Robinson, and Grady has an opportunity to improve and to be a good college football quarterback. Grady's got to work on the mental and physical toughness side of things, and he's got to figure out how he's going to finish a semester on the field healthy, because he hadn't done that yet, and we'll have all those conversations over the next couple of weeks. But
sure.
Special athlete now, special. Grady with the football in his hands is probably as fast or faster than anybody in the country.
Electric.
Yeah, he can go get it.
Yeah.
Jackson Berry made huge strides this semester, and this was Jackson's best semester of the 3 that I've been here with him.
Okay.
But he made some strides and showed us that he's capable of playing FCS college football, and we're excited about Jackson. He just got to keep competing, keep improving.
Yeah.
Karsten Nagel's a walk-on, school start walk-on last fall, but happy to be Karsten's coach. And he improved both in the fall and the spring.
That's what I was going to point out. I noticed he's number 10 in the practice squad there, and he was making a lot of really good decisions, like smart football plays. And I don't know. That was one that stood out as I was watching a bunch of people. I only see what's limited to my purvey. I'm not a coach. I don't understand all the things, but he made some good decisions, I thought.
Karsten understands that he has 4 or 5 limitations, and he just sticks to what he's good at.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't get into where he's limited at. He keeps it real simple. How do you say this? He's efficient.
Yeah, be the best version of you.
That's what he's doing.
Yeah, not playing outside himself.
Yep.
Okay, Carson Nagley. And who else we got? Is that it?
You got tight ends. You left tight ends out.
Yep. Thanks.
Yeah.
Tight ends.
Francisco Calderon has solidified himself as a starter, and Frank's got to go put on 10 pounds this summer. But he's got to put on some weight and get those things fixed. But he has shown that he can run routes. He's shown that he can block. He's shown that he's tough. Done a nice job at tight end.
Awesome.
After him, it is Jacob Moffitt and Josh Accord are the ones fighting for playing time behind Frankie, and then we're hoping that David Vandenberg and Chase Merrill are going to help us down the road at the tight end position.
Okay. I don't think we left any positions out for offense. I think that wraps up the offense, Coach. Let's go to the defensive side of the ball. We'll start with the big guys again because they're big, and you just want to make sure they're happy. So let's talk about your D line. I'm excited to talk about your D line because to me that's where I think I've seen some dominance.
Yeah, maybe the best defensive line FCS football. It is a pattern with our coaching staff. We got really good up front at Southern Virginia. We got great up front at Frostburg State.
Okay.
And now we're continuing that trend, but it's a priority for us. We're not going to let people run the football on us. We're going to be able to pressure the quarterback. We're good up front. Those D tackles. Robert Horsey came in, transferred in from Frostburg at Christmas, and Robert is a force to be reckoned with. John Roberts got a chance to play. This is a senior season. He's here for the spring. He's here for the fall. One year with us. He's got a chance to play professionally when he leaves out of here at Christmas. But good football player and a better kid.
He's awesome.
He's fun to be around.
He steps in as a leader immediately. He's just got a great way about him, great personality. Funny guy, but when it gets down to business, he's all about his business.
He's got those Bernie Mac idiosyncrasies.
He does a little bit.
You can't talk to him without laughing.
Oh, he's a good guy.
But he's a good player. Peyton Payne returns. He's second team all-conference from last year, and Peyton's going to be a good football player.
Awesome.
Peyton's got a chance to be a great college football player.
Yeah.
Rylan Suafilio's in that same boat, got a chance to be really, really good. And then the guys after that, Joe Tongamoa has improved here 2 straight semesters. Can he improve over the summer and get himself into the rotation and be more consistent? Joe's got to learn to play when he's tired, and what he's got to do is get his conditioning, his strength and conditioning to a level where he just doesn't get tired.
Yeah.
Then he doesn't have to fight through the other part. And then I am hopeful. I am hopeful that Aaron Romero and Julian Anatuniani is going. We call him Julian from Sacramento because it's just easier. So, but Aaron Romero
Julian from Sacramento.
That's not a slight to anybody.
No, and it's hard to pronounce his name. That's all.
My country rear end has a hard time with some of the Polynesian names now.
Yeah.
So we pronounce the letters a little different. But getting something out of Aaron this fall because Aaron's capable, and getting something out of Julian because he's very capable too. You move over to defensive end position, and we've upgraded there. And Julian Sanderlin's getting ready to make his best year, last year his best year. He's getting ready to come on and do some things, and we're happy about him. Anisi Purcell's got 4 to play and going to be one of, if not the best freshman D lineman in the conference this year. Josh Lopez has come a long way since he's been here. We moved him from Mike linebacker to defensive end. He flies around, plays really, really hard, has an opportunity. Brought Walker Harris in here as a transfer at Christmas, and when Walker is focused and motivated, Walker's a good player. Now, when he's not, he becomes very average real quick, but we expect him to be focused and motivated. I can't pronounce Samuel's name, but we call him Sammy Sosa here. He calls himself Sammy Sosa, so that's what we're going with. And Sammy's a good football player. Sammy's got to get in the weight room this summer. Really got to embrace getting more explosive from his waist down, but he is capable of being a good football player.
Is he another transfer? I know you
brought
don't
him
call
in
him
at
transfers.
Christmas.
What do you call them?
Whatever.
Yeah, mid-year
Mid-year
signees.
guy. Mid-year guy.
Yeah.
A mid-year guy. Sammy's a mid-year guy from the state of Utah. Went to junior college in California. We brought him back here, and happy to have him.
Awesome.
But yeah, and then the guys that can help is Brecken Bowen could help us, and Fabian Marble could help us, and Viami Tasinga could help us also. But they've got to make strides this summer.
Okay. That's the interior and the edge there. So let's talk about linebackers.
Yeah, we're loaded. We're loaded.
I love to hear that.
Yeah, Shay McClure's done a great job of coaching those guys, but we're loaded. Led by the senior Aubrey Nelms, and Aubrey's had a great offseason and got a chance to have a very good summer and fall. He rotates a lot with Trent Whalen. Trent Whalen's a whale of a player.
Oh, yeah.
Just fits his name, Whale. But he's a whale of a player. Got a chance to be a good football player. And Trent's a junior. Josh Dunn's a junior there, rising junior, and good football player. I think Josh did 36.5-inch vertical yesterday in the weight room, but he's explosive. And then you got Connor Cullimore, and we're trying to avoid Connor. We're trying to avoid Connor having the sophomore slump. Because he had a great freshman season coming off of his mission. But Connor's got a chance. Hey, we are different. We're just different. We're just better when Connor's on the field versus him not being on the field. His brother Nash is coming off of his cash. How about that? I messed it up. Sorry.
Cash money, yeah,
Cash. Cash is coming off of his mission and joining us this summer. And
Okay.
Cash got a chance to be as good or better than Connor, but he's a good football player.
I was talking to their dad, and he said, you know what's better than one Cullimore on your team? 2 Cullimores. I said, thanks for sharing the fruits.
Mr. Cullimore, we just got to figure out a way to get both of them to run as fast as Secret does.
Oh, there you go, yeah.
Connor's wife runs a 100-meter dash here, holds the school record.
School record holder, that's right.
Yeah, for the 100-meter dash. We got to figure out a way for them two to run as fast as she runs.
She could teach him some technique.
Connor Meyer came in here, transferred in at Christmas, had a really good spring. Shocking. He's one of a couple pleasant surprises this spring, and we've got high expectations for Connor. And then Henry Harper and Caden Kelly. Henry Harper, Caden Kelly, Bodie Blackett, they have a chance to help us at that position.
Excellent. So like you said, we're pretty stacked. Are we because you have so many good backers, does that change your opportunity to play different schemes on defense, or are you going to stick to just what you know?
Yeah, John Kelling plays a lot of different schemes.
Oh, yeah.
So we probably saw 6 or 8 different things up front and in the back end this spring. So you're right. What you said is 100% accurate. Them being good at what they do and being very talented, and them being able to handle the load mentally and physically,
right?
Yeah, allows us to be diverse on defense.
Yeah, allows you to be multiple. I like it. From backers, let's move over to safeties.
Yeah,
excuse me.
George Ramirez is best safety this spring. George has walked onto this football program 3 years ago from Phoenix, Arizona, and earned everything he's gotten, but did a really good job. Also back at that safety, getting some playing time and doing some good things. Hansley Pay had a good spring, and he's doing some good things, and we're excited about him going forward. Brendan Hale has a chance to be a very good leader, very good football player. Brendan's got to gain some weight. He's got to gain some weight and fix the fact that he looks like he hadn't eaten in a month and a half.
Get some calories.
Whenever you see him, yeah. I mean, eat something solid, son. But he is he does all the right things, does everything we ask him to. Trey Gula came in here at Christmas, and Trey's solid and doing some things there, and we're excited about him. And then there's a couple of other ones that we're not going to talk about, but if they have good summers, got a chance to help us.
Good to hear. And then last but never least, corners. Let's talk about those DBs.
Yeah, the two, Kellen Washington out of St. George had a very, very good spring. Kellen still got some things to fix, but showed some mental and physical toughness this spring. The fact that he could line up every play every day and just keep playing and not get on the injury list. The other one in there with him is Grant Salter. Grant Salter had a good spring and showed us that he's capable. More than anything, just showed that he's tough. John, if it's not the number one thing on my list, I value toughness, mental and physical toughness way up there, because I think you have to have it to be successful in football. One of our safeties is at the window being a knucklehead, making faces on the window now as we're talking.
Just trying to get some airtime, Coach.
Yeah. He's going to ask later why I didn't mention him in this thing, and he'll know now.
Hey.
But backing up Kellen and Grant is Torian White and Quadir Lockett-Smith, Cody Coleman. Stayed in the training room a lot this spring and didn't practice a whole lot. But those 3 guys, Torian, Quadir, Cody, have an opportunity. That they have an opportunity whenever they figure it out mentally and physically. They have an opportunity to be good football players.
Yeah. That kind of wraps up the position groups. We got a few minutes. Let's talk about.
You can't get out of here without the specialists.
Oh.
Yeah, everybody. Hey,
that's why you're the coach.
Hey, John, kickers and punters and long snappers are people
They're
too.
They're people too. No, let's talk about the specialists, because they are, like you said, difference makers, and they can definitely win or lose a game for you.
Yeah, so. Gavin Lipkin, long snappers is as good as anybody at this level in the country. Long snap started every game at long snapper last year as a true freshman. Stays healthy, he'll start every game at long snapper this year. Probably good football player. Happy to have him, and we're bringing in some guys to compete with him, but he does a nice job.
Great.
Our kicker and punter positions are wide slam open, and of our kickers and punters, Austin Cogan and Tyler Graham did the best this spring. Did the best, but we're going to bring in some competition for them in the fall, and our kicker and punter position will be open again. It may, our FCS special teams player of the year last year was our punter, and it might take a day or two to replace him.
Yeah.
So I think Jake Garrardi, I think Jake had a 91-yarder and an 83-yarder for punts last year. Yeah, unbelievable. And people go, well, how far did it roll? Well, it rolled. Don't get me wrong. Those
it rolled plenty, but still.
Yeah, it was 75 yards in the air.
And he put it somewhere where they couldn't get received.
Kick it away from them.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that we've highlighted some of the special teams unit, I feel bad. I'm sorry. If I was ever going to play football, I would have been a kicker because, you look at me, I never would have been playing any real.
The specialists sometimes aren't busy in practice. I'll just have them come over and address it with you when you're at practice.
Yeah, I know. Okay. I'm going to hear about this one. Coach, you mentioned before we started the show that we've got, the transfer situation in NCAA football, and it's open now. And we didn't really have a mass exodus for the doors. But we might be able to use the transfer portal and bringing in some more guys. Do you have any, not obviously to tip your cap or let on to anything, but do we have some positions on the team that need filled, and are we going to look to the transfer portal to fill those positions?
I'm not giving you any keys to the city now.
No, I know.
You're not getting any of the secrets.
But we need to chat about it
little
bit.
Well, let's do the positives.
Yeah.
Let's do the positives.
Yeah.
Transfer portal opened up on Saturday. It's now Wednesday at lunchtime. We haven't had one player that played in the spring game that finished the season with us. Not one player has went into the portal. We may be the only team in the country that's that way. They are expecting 6,000 players go into the portal, and what a mess.
Yeah.
What a mess. And here's the thing, 6,000 are going in and 2,000 are coming out with a scholarship. There's 4,000 kids just giving their free education away, just giving it away, which I think's nuts. But what an American and what a human being will do for 15 minutes of fame these days never ceases to amaze me. Now, I get when I think you can't stoop any lower, they stoop lower. But a kid, the kids, and I'll name off certain schools, but no, I won't. That's bad. Group of 5 players, that are playing 50% of the snaps on their team's offense and defense are going into the portal and not going to get a Division I offer.
It's wild.
It is wild. But they can't take a month without having a headline on Twitter or Instagram or whatever else has been invented today that I don't know about social media-wise. They can't – anything to be popular for 5 minutes.
That's wild.
So I am back on what matters with us. Jacked up about our football program and the improvement we made in the offseason. Our young men not transferring out shows that they're here and they're committed. I'm not always sunshine and roses to be around.
Not peaches and cream, is that what you said earlier? Yeah, I'm not always peaches and cream.
I'm not. I'm not always fun to be around. But these kids have committed to this town and this university and this football program. Couldn't be happier to be their head coach and excited about what the future has to offer. If the young men that we talked about and some of the others, if they stay the course, we got a chance to be really good down the road.
Yeah. We've got 3 minutes left. I'd like to talk just specifically a little bit about the spring game, the spring practice, and then we had a great turnout. We gotta give a little shout out to Doug Newth and Danny Ferry. We need there's a lot of people. Rich Wilson, Dave Nacken helped out.
Jeff Tukawafu.
That's the one. That's the one I wanted to highlight at the end.
Darius Smith.
Darius. From your staff is man, he's a great operations guy.
The alumni, the people in town said it's the biggest spring game turnout of all time.
Easily.
Good for us. So not only are our players, not only is it not just our players being bought in, we got people in town and alumni starting to get on board too.
That's exactly right. We got a ways to go on our side, that community side, but I feel like there's that tide that starts to change,
Sure.
It starts to roll in, and I feel like we're getting some momentum from the community side as well as from the institution. So we're excited to see where that goes this year. But as far as the game goes, do you see anybody flash? Did you see anybody that took their opportunity and made the most of it in that one day?
Yeah, see, the problem is I saw about 12. You tell me what you saw. I want to hear from you.
You know what? I told you a little
I know
bit.
what I saw.
I like Nagley have played pretty well at QB.
Carson.
Tosh had a decent.
Yeah.
Tosh Wright had a decent go of it. Defensively, it was a little tricky on the interior D line and the ends because they couldn't hit the quarterback. So they were probably running at 70-80% speed, but I felt like at times they dominated, depending on the personnel package and things like that.
Our front's 7.
Yeah,
Don't narrow it down to the D ends or the nose guards.
Yeah.
Our front 7, all of our D line and linebackers are going to give some people headaches now.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
you brought it up. Gabe Nunez.
Yeah.
Gabe Nunez had, I don't know, 6 or 8 catches.
Ramirez played really well at safety.
For a young man, George Ramirez. George, here is a term people haven't heard before, okay? George Ramirez has overachieved so long that he's an achiever.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been an overachiever all of his life, and now all of a sudden at age 21, 22, he's going to have an opportunity to be an achiever.
Yeah.
So, but there's nobody that's going to play harder than George, or care more than George cares about it.
Love to see
Tim
that.
Patrick made a couple big plays.
Yep. Tim.
Which I think is a window to his future.
The running back that I heard a little bit is it Bowring? Is that how you say?
Cade Bowring.
Yeah, I thought he ran really hard.
The pride of Juab.
The Juab Wasps.
Yeah,
Let's go Wasps.
Dad just retired as the head coach at Juab, but yeah, he flashed.
Yeah, I thought he flashed, and I thought he ran really hard and finished his runs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he did. There was a bunch of people, but those are the ones
our defensive line handled our O-line, and we've got some things in the offseason up front on the O-line. We've got to play lower and play with more authority.
Yeah.
We've got to get vertical push and blocks, and some of those things have to happen. But yeah, overall it was really good.
Coach, let's wrap this up with a final thought. I asked you before, do you have a team motto for the upcoming season? Tell us what that team motto is and where it came from and how it's going to help you guys.
We're keeping focus, fight, finish. So we're keeping the focus, fight, finish because without that, you're not going to be very good. Not in college athletics and not in life. We're keeping the 1% better each day. Should have patented that 12 years ago when our staff came up with it because now everybody's on.
I know, I've seen
everybody's on board.
On T-shirts.
Yeah, but us getting 1% better individually each day, going to keep that one. And then our motto, the one that we added that'll go forward probably forever with us, is going to be fly together. Fly together, and this is a special town and a special university, and people get together and do things together. It's a synergy in this town and in this area and at this university, and I wanted something that kind of brought that synergy together. You know, John, how are we going to be successful going forward? How are we going to do this? Win a conference title, make the national playoffs? Well, we're going to fly together.
Love it. Coach, I think that is a perfect spot to end our segment here. I appreciate you coming in. I know you've been traveling. Thanks for making the time to be with us. Thanks to Regan Hunsaker. Regan, appreciate you, man. He's kind of the guy behind the scenes that makes it all work. So for Regan Hunsaker, Coach Delaney Fitzgerald, I'm John Smith, signing off. Go T-Birds.
Go Thunderbirds.